Hey everybody, it's the Last Robo Kai here. This is Nioh. I'm joined by Cool Time. Cool Time?
I am Cool Time. This is cool time. Time to chill out, man.
What is with my mouth today? We're doing the samurai from Sawayama, which is weird because the samurai from Sawayama has already been captured. We captured Mitsunari like last episode, 2 episodes ago.
It's
last
fine.
major mission. Anyway, Sawayama Castle was a really nice looking castle in and you know, it was on the banks of a lake, and it was fantastic, and yeah, and it was given to Mitsunari, and everyone got jealous.
This was the one castle we were supposed to see during the time I was in Japan with the Rotary, and we ended up having it get canceled. Dude, that is a mess. Holy buckets, dude.
It's not a mask. It's just a helm. It's the Shimasakon set.
Yeah, but like isn't there like a face mask over it? Like
no. He
okay.
just the lighting is really fucking wonky. This is a dark and spooky castle where Edward Kelley has been doing dark and spooky things, and all the fighting that has gone on inside of it has done a number on it.
I remember that this was the castle that we were supposed to see while I was in Japan with the Rotary, and getting canceled because there were a couple of school functions. Because like the entire idea behind us being in Maebashi, we're relatively close to Maebashi geographically right now, by the way, There were some school functions going on, and our entire point for being there was to basically like interact with the high school students and, you know, give them like talk English to them and so on and so forth, and basically give a certain amount of international experience to the high school students. Like the principal came down to personally apologize to us, and so it was just like, yeah, this is a beautiful fucking castle. Like, I'm sorry you're not gonna go there. Like, you should try to come back to Japan someday and see it, because it's amazing.
Yeah, they've probably done quite a lot of restoration work on it.
I mean, particularly considering the state of things in this level.
Well, thankfully, historically, no one was summoning Amrita demons in the depths of the actual castle.
Yeah, historically, Edward Kelley was just a hermetic scientist rather than a scientist.
Yeah, so we're starting to see some more of these, as I call them, mass-produced yogi, with the little Kelley-produced alchemic symbols all over them. And we're actually going to encounter a new enemy type.
He doesn't want to be friendly, buddy.
Yeah, bit rude. Come on, dude.
Bit rude.
Come on, dude. Let's be cool. Let me whistle at you. Nope, he wanted me to be mean to him.
Oh, you kidding me? Like, what kind of horrible upbringing has this wall demon had that he
It's seen some shit, man. If walls could talk.
If walls could talk, man. If walls could talk.
I'm just sort of raising my arms up over my head like I just won something. I'm just gonna say that now.
Or are you summoning the spirit bomb? Like, I mean, this is the other alternative.
Everybody, give me your bad joke energy. I already released it though, so it's like kind of pointless.
Oh, trust me, we will always be able to use our dad joke energy. Like, you know, like.
Here it is, new enemy type. It's called the Harenobo. It's like an Umibozu, but it isn't made up of. This is the interesting thing. It isn't made up of a dead person. It's not like the Mudman. It's not like the lesser Umibozu. What it is, it's a collection of tools surrounded by, I guess, what you would call yokai energy or ectoplasm. And these tools have been discarded. It's full of quite a lot of needles and swords and other things, and the grudge that persists. Because back in like one of the very first episodes, I talked about this concept. That the idea behind Shinto is that even objects can, through their usage, how they're used and how they're not used, develop, you might say, an identity of their own. In this particular case, the neglect and the forgotten nature has caused these things to essentially become an entity that is striving to show everybody who is the boss.
I find it incredibly appropriate that you happen to pick up a whetstone from the wall demon's corpse there, considering the lesson that we just had. And yeah, and those of our viewers who are Warhammer fan or Warhammer 40K fans will appreciate this as the machine spirit of the tools that we're talking about. And even needles and threads have machine spirits in Shinto.
Yeah. You might say the Adeptus Mechanicus is Shinto gone completely shit bonkers, but it's actually just shit bonkers.
Yeah, I mean,
no.
the Adeptus Mechanicus is shit bonkers to begin with. So I mean, they're cribbing stuff from everybody.
You'll see me checking a lot of corners and walls and everything around here because this place is absolutely lousy with shortcuts, hidden passages, and also a few architectural designs.
Ninja House.
Yeah, it's not quite Ninja House. It is a house of bad events and bad times, and oh god, all the lightning.
Step.
Even going at like 1 kilometer an hour, I can still. What? What are you doing?
Okay, buddy.
Making a fool out of me? Oh my god, the slow.
Yeah, seriously,
just let me chop the horn.
That electric slow is brutal.
Not nearly as brutal as like the sloth effect, but still brutal. Okay, there we go.
I mean, I don't want to be trying to adventure with it.
So this game has a bit of verticality to it. There are trapdoors that, if you like, as we usually know, that will drop us into a lower level. They're not designed to kill you so much as they are designed to drop you into another place, and you have to sort of like navigate your way up from it. Also around the place we'll find quite a few of Kelley's weird experimental devices that he's got here that he's been using to like that he's filled with Amrita and he's using to basically they spit out Oni bees until you destroy them. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing, and there's not really a set kind of Oni bee that it'll tip out. I didn't really need the water because my Odachi naturally does water damage, which is nice.
I really appreciate that that even like in the middle of being pursued, Kelley is still basically just being like, I'm gonna throw this shit against the wall and see if it sticks.
Well, he's been operating and experimenting in Sawayama for a while since he teamed up with Mitsunari, and the game says that no one's quite sure how much of this was approved by Mitsunari. There's a strong suggestion that he might have been doing a fair bit of this under Mitsunari's nose while he was at the capital.
That seems legitimate.
Yeah, you can sort of see the hinges there. If we tried to step on that, we'd fall through the bottom and we'd go to a different area, which is again tied into what Kelley's been up to. But I'm gonna go to that at my own leisure.
We would
There's
fall
lots of
into
stairways
a
up
giant headache.
Oh, this entire stage is very maze-like, and one of the best examples of it. I'll try and show off in a moment, because for the longest time playing this game, I did not. Oh, hold on a second.
Hold on a second.
This room's
shit
mean.
happening.
Yeah, this room's mean. Got an archer up there, and we've got fucking barrels of gunpowder everywhere. It's just like this is the mean trap that you're supposed to walk up to here, and of course if you're a silly bugger and you don't notice that that's there, you get thrown backwards in amongst the pile of the gunpowder barrels, and the arrow strikes the barrels, you explode and die probably.
I mean, and also in the middle of all of that, you get hit with a hairy nutsack.
Yeah.
You can't forget the fact that you're just like, oh, treasure, and you run into it, you try to open it, and then he just hits you with a hairy nutsack.
So there's we've talked about castle design and a lot of the clever things they do in castle design. Here's another one. Passageway. You would never think to look there from the direction that you're walking in. It's one you'd only see coming down the other hallway. And that's a fairly neat trick used to obfuscate and confuse people who are traveling inside of a castle, and because they might be like, oh god, like how do I get in? How do I get out? Where am I? I don't remember this doorway. What's going on? Am I in the right place? Sadly, I make a mistake here and I accidentally, forget that's a destroyable wall. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the shrine that's nearby, and this is the entire purpose for this sort of area, and then come back up. Because one of the nice things about this game is that when you go to a shrine, it doesn't just reset enemies; it resets destructibles.
Can we talk for a minute about how fucking clinically you just got rid of that dickhead who was ambushing you there? Like you just sort of motored over it, but there's this douchebag at the top or behind the stairs, and you're just like, hey, I'm just gonna cut your arrow out of the air, and I'm gonna pull my own bow out while you're reloading, and just crown you, just right in between the eyes. Like, you just sort of motored over that, but damn, son, that was impressive.
I've said it before, I was really worried that I was going to play this game really badly for the internet. It's like, okay, well, good. Not even tooting my own horn, like, I'm still dying and stuff like that.
Well,
but that's okay.
Sure,
it's a game
yes, you
to.
are. It's fucking Nioh. You're going to die at some point. I hasten to stress that, you know, on the Something Awful forums, which is basically the Let's Play area, right? You know, this was a community of incredibly dedicated games fanatics that wanted to show off individual games as much as they could. Nioh has defeated, what is it? Is it 3 or 4 now? It's like
I don't know. I thought it was just 2, and I don't feel like I don't feel like dwelling on that so much, to be honest, because I know we've talked about that a few times. Okay,
dedicated Let's Players, and you know you're like we're fucking doing it, man. We're making this shit happen.
Watch this. Next level plays.
Oh, cripes, dude! You didn't even.
Now watch this. Next level plays. There we go.
Again,
I do have some grenades to use for that, but you know, whatever.
I want to stress that when I'm doing commentary on this, I have not previewed these in advance. This is all new to me as I'm seeing it. So like I continue to fucking notice these themes like a moment before they become relevant, even if I don't necessarily know precisely how they're going to become relevant. Also known as the Tengu that murdered you right as I was feeling the hubris. Jesus. Yep. Yeah. Fucking next level plays over there, man. Like top marks. Top frickin' marks.
Sometimes the best things I do are the things I do accidentally, so I'm okay.
Doesn't matter. Like we'll pretend that was on purpose. Because it looked like it was on purpose.
All right, now we're going to be doing a little bit of descending to the next section where Kelley's been doing his research. Obviously, that's a trapdoor in front of that skeleton archer. We're not even going to pretend. We aren't stupid. Come on, game. Oh, this is mean though. Look at this. Oh yeah, we got fire. Yep, that's what that does.
Wow, yeah.
That's mean.
Fire Oni
That's
B
just mean.
And a bomb man.
Yep. I love these little, as you call them, constellations of enemies and the wacky shit they do. There's so much thought put into like creating hazards that will trap the unwary and just goof on literally everybody else. Okay, come on. Okay,
somebody had a lot of fun designing that encounter.
And this place is full of trap encounters because we've got skeleton warriors that will lead you to trapdoors, treasures that will lead you to trapdoors. We've got explodable walls. We've got hidden walls, we've got doors to open, we've got little things to read from Edward.
I see. An excess of Amrita causes the subject to swell to unsustainable levels.
Yeah. So he only just figured that out himself.
I mean, we figured that out a while ago, but, you know...
Well, we don't know when that's from, but what I mean is that, like, when he didn't know till he came to Japan. He's been refining what England knows about Amrita while doing experiments here, which is I like that. I like that as an idea because there's so much here. It's so much easier for them to like play with it as a resource.
GG, boy.
Taking advantage of the hospitality a little bit too much. Yep, so it goes even further down. This is where a lot of people were being held before Kelley experimented on them.
Please tell me this does not turn into poo sewers.
Nope. The only Umibozu likes in this level are our Harunobo here. Which you could essentially assume were either the tools of the people who lived and worked in the castle, fallen silent after Kelley has been experimenting on all the people who worked there and stuff like that, or perhaps unused torture tools used in the experiments, having absorbed enough bad will and Amrita into themselves through the course of Kelley's experimentations to become active and sentient and vengeful.
God, that's a cool concept. It's a really cool concept.
I'm filling in a lot of blanks for the game on that one, but
I mean,
yeah. You can definitely fill in the blanks a lot.
Yeah, like you're just like, oh, I'm filling in blanks, but you're filling them in very rationally, insanely. You know, like you're not stretching on this.
That guy's name was Warriors, I think.
I mean, I did see that it was Warriors, and it seems like a pretty reasonable name. GG, boy.
Mass-produced models.
Mass-produced models. Like, we're operating on Gundam rules, where mass-produced models doesn't actually mean, you know, refined, tested, and good. You know, it just means, oh,
well, that's if Xeon makes it.
Huh?
I said, well, that's if Xeon makes it anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
The mass production's probably not going to be that great. Because I'll tell you what, man, the GM was a beast. There is a reason everybody loves their gyms.
That is fair. That is fair. The joke I was going to make is it's always the prototypes.
There's a lot of different ways to approach this from.
Like this entire level is reminding me of like intestines, just it all just loops back on itself.
And the lower down you go, the grosser it gets.
Yes, exactly. That's a wonderful way to put it. Where did everyone go? Child!
Speaking of.
I really appreciate how you could just sort of back off and let that dude blow himself up, whatever. It doesn't even
He didn't seem like he was in a hurry, so I was just like, okay.
He really didn't. He was just sort of like, eh. I've got a rapidly burning fuse, but it doesn't matter.
A few locked doors, a few must open this from the other sides.
Blah blah.
I ain't falling for that. Come on. I was kind of hoping to move around enough that I wouldn't alert it, and then I realized this thing's going to sit at range and just like spew at me. It's got an interesting series of ranged attacks too, where it sort of throws out some of its needles at you. And then I got bored.
Yeah, no, that seems like a reasonable way to handle this this particular Gordian's knot. Just cut it wide fucking open.
There we go.
There you go.
Sometimes it feels like the tracking on the Odachi and Living Weapon just kind of goes a bit weird.
I mean, that last strike you did, like second to last strike before that dude's head came off, it seemed like it sort of phased through him. It's just like, nah, you didn't hit me. It's like it's like a shitty wrestler in the WWE that refuses to sell a hit. That's the mass-produced Yoki up in here.
Rude jerks. And I love this level in spite of its somewhat trickiness. Like, I've got some of the route pathed out in my head, but still quite a lot. It's like a lot of Adachi, like sort of like Kadama's behind closed doors.
Yeah, I feel like I would have had to do this level like 6 times in a row just to get a route burned into my brain.
You get
before I could
so
do
lost on the first few times because, especially if you fall afoul of the trapdoors, and next thing you know, you're at the bottom down here, and it doesn't drop, like, it drops you in a kind of in a rough place, which I'm going to take us over to take a look at.
Oh boy.
Yeah, there's a lot. There is a lot to this level. And you have to go down here in order to travel up to where we need to actually go to face the boss. For whatever reason, a lot of the rest of it's not really quite as connected.
Well, you almost got blown up by that dude.
Yeah, but I didn't.
But you didn't. This reminds me of all of the maze runners that I grew up on, like back in freaking, you know, 1989, 1991, all of the early days of computing. One of the only things you could interestingly do with, you know, the 4 86 computers you had was to make a maze. Like, I grew up on a lot of those sorts of maze runners, and I am getting like serious flashbacks to that, where you know, it would randomly generate this maze, and you could break the chalk or whatever to mark where you were going, but it would reduce your overall score. You would be playing this nonsense in the computer lab, elementary school. They were just trying to get you familiar with computers in the first place. They didn't really care what you did. It turned into this massive competition with the entire class to get the highest score. Anybody who took chalk was took chalk or string versus just like, you know, some disconnected from network. Okay.
Yep, Steam went down at this point, and I'm like, oh,
okay,
really?
sure, why not?
Like this, Steam went down for a while, so we won't be getting our connection back for a while, which means we were just not going to be seeing any player revenants for the this episode and the next one.
That's fine, I suppose. But yeah, no, like if you took chalk or string or something like that, you were just immediately a jerk. like you had to take something like the muddy boots that only showed you like where you had walked the last time or something. Just freaking an entire hierarchy of maze running kids who were like 8 years old.
I mean, that sounds definitely cool, and a really cool application of you know, of mazes and things like that. A group just getting into, you know, who can solve it with the certain tools and everything like that, and you can sort of see from that, you see people getting into things like speed running and other things like that from there. Mm-hmm. It's really, you know, it's a cool foundation.
Oh, yeah, no. This was the nonsense I got into. The weirdest thing is that this also crossed regions of the United States, for what that's worth. Like, you know, like I first saw this in Virginia, because I originally grew up in Virginia, in Roanoke, the Shenandoah Valley, the same place that Sheridan burned to the fucking ground to try to end the Civil War. Dude sniping at you. That's rude.
Yeah, so that was a trap flood that I didn't activate last time.
Okay. Anyway, but then I had moved to Lincoln, Nebraska in the 4th grade, and in the 5th grade we had basically that same damn thing in a completely different computer lab. Like even at the time it was weird. Mazes are cool. That's the overall point of that rant.
Yeah. And once you get to know them, so long as you're well practiced in them, they don't cause you too much confusion. I can imagine this is, well, from my memory, it was a little frustrating to start with.
There's a
just
number
because
of
it's so many loopbacks, so you can get turned in on yourself very easily. This is actually where you're supposed to go.
Yeah, there's a number of different ways you can handle mazes in video games like this, just in terms of a general problem-solving aspect. The primary one is the right-hand rule, which is easy in that you basically place your right hand on the wall, and you keep your right hand on the wall, and eventually you're gonna find your way out or learn the maze, because effectively what you have done is standardized the decisions that you need to make, so your memory is able to eliminate a lot of variables in terms of where is this, where have I been, where is this going, because you know you've always just turned right. You can also use the left hand rule, place your left hand on the wall, and do the same thing. So you know there's a couple of algorithms basically to solve these sorts of mazes, even if you have no idea what's going on. The primary thing that this will enlighten you on, even if it's a weird sort of maze, is whether or not the maze is non-Euclidean, because that's something that a lot of game designers love to do. Is they'll basically add a bunch of teleport traps, like basically they figure out that you're in Portal, but they won't tell you that you're teleporting. So you'll turn right, and you'll turn right, and you'll turn right, and you'll turn right a 4th time, but you'll end up in a different place because you didn't actually turn the 360. It's basically a non-Euclidean maze. If you keep the right-hand rule, you'll figure out if you're in a non-Euclidean maze. Awful damn. That is an important insight. Important insight.
Now you guys know how to get through a maze.
Yeah, well, I mean, Unless you want to starve down there, unless you want to be Theseus in there with a fucking Minotaur. Only, you know, I mean, the Minotaur in this particular case isn't as defeatable as these, you know, mass-produced Oni or Yoki,
Yeah.
rather.
Yeah, William knows how to murder the shit out of a few Minotaurs at this
He's
point. I think.
fine. Yeah, like you put William in there, and he's just like, boy, I handled all sorts of nerds with horns like you. Like, you're a bull,
Just cut 'em
brother
off, it's
man. I have fought half bull, half monkey, half human things.
Multiple times, in fact.
Yeah, it's a reference to the damn mask you were wearing last episode. Jesus.
I love it.
Still haunts my fucking dreams.
So we're getting an interesting set of armor. The Karakawa armor. I'll be wearing it in the next episode. I think it might be my favorite heavy armor design. But we won't see till next week. Shock and horror.
Look forward to that.
Mm-hmm. And now we're sort of getting up to the area where the game will often sort of drop you down, is in these sorts of areas. And so you drop down, and, you know, off to the right there and over here,
Sticky
lots of
pot.
dead bodies. Great big piles of skulls and skeletons, actually, which is,
That's not good.
well, that's what
Fortunately.
Edward Kelly's been up to.
I mean, anytime you see a whole, like a massive pile of corpses, you're just like, yeah, that's what Edward Kelly's been up to. That basically scans.
Yeah, and everybody else has been sort of finding out and then probably being killed afterwards, which sort of pushes more on the idea, you know, I don't think Kelley was letting Mitsunari know these things were going on. Big old piles of dead bodies.
Mass graves are just, they're never a good thing. I don't care where you find them. I don't care what culture you come from. Mass graves are just never a good thing. It's never a good thing.
This is all these people being really upset that that their wonderful castle has been reduced to a murder unfun house, and I
Yeah,
can't blame them.
mass grave. It's just never a good thing.
Bundled up in piles. At least it's not entirely the floor like in New Londo. In Dark Souls.
Bro. Yeah, it's
That,
just
that
like
singular moment when you're like, wow, the ground is crunchy, and you look down and you go,
Oh!
how many people lived here?
How
They were
many
able
dudes?
to pave the entire ground with dead bodies.
Oh!
It's just like, good lord. I guess everyone just sort of sank and got swept here, and it's kind of gross. I don't know what's going on, but yikes. Yikes.
Yep. I don't know. And most times when I see that employed, it's just it's almost comical. But in New Londo did it correctly simply because there was so much setup for it.
Yeah, you didn't see it till you drained the water, at which point you're like, oh.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah, and it also explains like 100 other things that are happening in New Londo. Like I would say that a particular place that they do it wrong is in World of Warcraft, where in Outlander, Draenor, which is the world that the orcs come from. There's this one particular path that leads up to the dark portal that goes to Azeroth, which is where, you know, most of World of Warcraft ends up, and it's where Warcrafts 1, 2, and 3 happened. They call it the Path of Glory, and it looks a little featured and everything like that. And if you look at it really closely, it's all bones. It's all just like elevated corpse bone ground together. And it's all Draenei bones, which is like a race that they added in a much later expansion, and blah blah blah. And it's just like it was all added for shock value at the time because like I don't have a whole lot of faith in the writing of World of Warcraft, even though I absolutely I was a huge fan of Warcraft all the way through Warcraft 3. The World of Warcraft was just, it was so obviously strong-armed by business requirements. It was just it ended up feeling ingenuine in a lot of ways. But you know, that is absolutely a way that it's done wrong because instead of having this like moment of discovery that explains so much around you, it's a moment that's almost forced in your face to like straw man a lot of things that are around you. It's like it's supposed to be the ultimate example of an overarching theme that, and you like, I simply felt patronized personally. I simply felt patronized when I saw that. I was just like, yes, Blizzard, I get it. Thank you for that.
Do you think Kelley asked them to install those? I could fight that guy, but I didn't think to do it.
Unnatural death.
Kelley insisted on the snake designs in here, because this tower is very snake.
It is incredibly snake-like, and
that's not really Mitsunari's thing.
It's not really Mitsunari's thing, but it's also not especially Kelley's thing either. Like, it's more Kelley than Mitsunari, but it's not especially.
Kelley has Ouroboros, the snake that eats its own tail, as a guardian spirit.
Does he?
And he
does. I forgot about that.
Yeah, and he also, when he teleports, his body tends to get
snake
like
scale.
the way the snake scales, and they coil up around him in the motion that a snake would coil around a human body.
Yep, like a python. You're absolutely correct. I had momentarily forgotten about that particular connection. I'm too busy making all of these other weird-ass connections that,
very
I
excited
use in my
snake
commentary.
Helmet,
that was an incredibly excited snake back there. He was just grinning. He was just like, "Hey, guy, come on in."
It's like sadly there's no happy snake helmet in this game. Alright, so we've reached the technical top of the tower. Now we get to the major part of where Kelley was hanging around and doing experiments. So we can't go this way, but we will be coming around to open that door up.
Huh? That's happening right there.
Yep, this is a place that has a sort of a big space and a whole bunch of different rooms that lead to the main room. Although the main room isn't our goal, interestingly enough. The main room is simply just a hub that as we fight through each area we can unlock access to where it has the shrine. So we're gonna go in there and clear it first, and then double back. But this is like the main room.
All of these, all of these like Amrita lanterns here are making me incredibly uneasy.
It's fine. All we gotta do is just beat up everything.
You make it sound so simple.
Fight the thing. I am so.
Uh-oh.
Wow, I managed to like block that attack and
I
dodge
have
that
no
attack
idea how you managed to block that. I saw you committing, and I was just like, "There's no way he's gonna." Nope, you got out of it scot-free.
Again. I'm always misreading the one-eyed Oni in regards to their range and their swing and things like that. So there'll be some fights where I do really, really well, and then some fights where I'm just like baffling myself.
Damn Mitsunari, that useless pawn! How could he lose? I must hurry.
Oh,
yeah,
first
so
time
he's
we've ever
getting
seen
a
him
little
stressed.
frantic now because like I said in the last episode, I think, or the episode before that, William is getting closer a lot more frequently, and Kelley is running out of options and running out of allies.
I'm pretty sure that is the first time we've ever seen Mitsunari, or we've ever seen Kelley stressed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just not letting me reconnect. I'm like, hey, game.
Fine,
No,
whatever,
okay,
dude.
fine. All right, fine. I guess I won't get to taste your delicious series of like graves and stuff.
Which
if I were to die, like
anyway.
all of the player ones that were already loaded in would disappear, which is a shame.
I like how that dude was turning around just as you were winding up to stab him in the face. Just take it right in the chin like a cheap whore there, buddy.
And we specifically ordered expensive ones. I'm not.
I mean, at this stage in the game, I feel like you've got what, 1.7 million. Rio, I guess, is that what's supposed to be? Is that supposed to be Rio? I'm gonna call it Rio. Anyway, but you know, like you've got 1.7 million Rio. I feel like you can afford an expensive hooker. Like whatever your taste is, I'm not judging. The point is that you can afford an expensive hooker.
Hanzo is wise enough to know not to invite William to any red light districts, so that he can focus. Oh, giant spider warning, by the way. Sorry, everyone.
Oh yeah, like that's probably that's probably a content warning.
The spider motif works quite well for this stage because there are a lot of people with connections who have all suffered under Edward Kelley. So in not such much the same way, the same way as Spider Castle, there are a lot of intertwined grudges and stories.
Spiders, snakes, anything creepy is just Kelley. Creepy Kelley. Creepy Kelley. That's his new nickname. I have what's what I'm looking for? Foretold it. Also, you are incredibly impatient right now.
That's what you get for being a big wheel in this economy.
Woo! Good work not getting greedy on that, by the way. I totally would have tried to kill him before he could get up.
It did cross my mind. My mind, like, Nioh is basically my brain going, can I get away with being greedy?
Boom.
And can I get away with continually poking this enemy?
The answer is almost always no, by the way.
Oh, animal cages too. Or cages for children. You're unfit a person.
Animals, children, what's the difference?
I mean, when you're a psychopath like Edward Kelley, yeah. No, what is the difference?
Literally can't feel empathy for anything outside of yourself. Yeah, I could buy that. Oh right.
Yep, still got a few
This
more
guy
rooms
is a
to clear
thing.
before we can get in there. There's some really fun attacks the
Yeah, seriously. Well, like he just sort of jumped into the air and then shot like scythes or whatever around. That was creative. He created that.
There's a another Ninja Yuki with the Kuri
Kuri
Kuri.
Sigama.
And now he's dead. Yay!
That is where he should be, in hell.
And we can't go that way because the rocks fell, which is a bit
Everyone
sad.
died.
So yeah, there's the door we couldn't get through before. And slightly to the left is the shortcut to the shrine, so we'll open that up too.
I really want to see like the alternate route that people took through all of this to put all of the bars on these doors, because it feels like you would box yourself in at some point.
I suppose it does. It definitely funnels you down a certain path. They're expecting me to die here. So let's change some gear up. We actually only changed the pants, but you notice changing the pants actually changed a lot of the other armor that I was like I lost the coat because it wouldn't.
Change the pants, and now you're in just like these aggressively ugly aqua pants.
You again. I was so close.
Don't play around with the Obsidian Samurai. He is fast, he has a giant axe, and he has a guardian spirit that is a big, angry electric bear.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is that a panda?
That's not a panda, that is a bear.
Alright, well, fuck that.
A straight-up bear. And it's wearing paint. It's wearing other things that look decidedly not very Japanese. The Obsidian Samurai is unique amongst a lot of the human fights in that he actually switches his weapons a lot. So he's quite good with his Adachi-like katana that he is swinging like a regular katana and his axe. But I take him very seriously, I don't goof around, so this is going to be over pretty quick. Actually, this is probably the fight that makes me look like I know what I'm doing the most. Look at this.
Jesus. I wish William could use an axe like that. I would have had a hell of a lot of fun with the axe if he could use it like that. Crap, son.
You need to be 7 foot tall.
Oh man, that was probably about the best finisher you could have imagined. By the way, just suplex that dude.
It's not a sarcastic clap. That is an honest clap, and you'll
Yeah,
see
I was
why
gonna say
shortly.
like that almost comes off as sarcastic. And even then, I was gonna say almost.
I was gonna take some for myself.
Like it's just that's the sort of jerkwad Kelley is. He.
I dreamt of becoming a samurai so that I could fight for Lord Nobunaga. Who do you fight for? That spirit?
I have met men who have fought, struggled, and died to create a world without war, where people and spirits can coexist in harmony. I fight for them.
Lord Nobunaga told me that he would make me a true samurai someday. But he died before it could happen. It seems you have achieved it on your own. I was brought to this country in bondage, treated like property. But then, my Lord Nobunaga granted me the title of samurai. But I couldn't save him. Like the Snake Man said, I believe only my lord could rule a world as crazy as this one. But does he really want to be resurrected? He was an exceptional man. None can know his true feelings.
We will talk a lot about Yasuke
Absolutely
in the next episode.
stellar. Oh my gosh!
Yes.
Like we need so much more time to talk about Yasuke and everything that happened there. Holy crap! So much freaking happened in that scene. So much happened.
It is one of the most amazing stories.
Yeah, there was character growth for William. There was the bro moment with Yasuke.
All right.
It was all
I've been the Last Kai.
I've been Cool
That's been
Guy.
Cool Guy having a freak out. We'll see you all next time.